Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful world of Hermits and Crafting. And we're here in Scarlandia, where we have completed our first skyscraper in our last episode. It's absolutely amazing to finally see one of our structures come to be here. Now, there's a ton more work to do in the interior and, of course, down below, and actually giving it a proper landscape. So let's fly on down. And let's kind of take a look at that. Oh, hello there, Aquascar. A brief appearance here, and it is very laggy on the server today, so... Is he gonna go away? Oh, there he is. There's normal Scar. Awesome. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So I've been kind of lining up some details here. So this is a buffer space in between the roads. And the reason I've designed it this way is so that when we do have multiple skyscrapers in these little areas between the roads, they don't feel really claustrophobic. They have a little bit of room to breathe and you're able to see them very well without having, it all jam right up against the road. So this region right here is going to become a beautiful lawn with trees, and then it's going to have a retaining wall, so a vertical retaining wall that goes straight up, and then it'll have like a gentle kind of like staircase within it going up into the skyscraper. So we're eventually going to get that all taken care of. It's going to be amazing, and I'm very happy about that. Now, if you can see it, oh, well, apparently you can't. So let's fly over there, actually. Oh, apparently not. That was a very delayed reaction to that firework. If you can see up in this region up here over the weekend on our Twitch live streams, which I hope you guys enjoyed, this is now version 3 of Mount Scar. That is right, Mount Scar is coming to HermitCraft. Version 1 and version 2, of course, are in my survival world, Scarland. And I cannot wait to see this area entirely transformed into a snow-capped mountain. And like I said, this will be version 3, so we'll learn everything we did through 1, 2, and now 3, so we can make the best possible mountain. And down over these little spots, we're building a river. That's right, we're relocating the river. So the river is now going to flow this way and around the city, whereas it's tucked pretty close up against the mountains, because we're going to need to build the foothills that are down in this low area. So we're going to need all this room to bring it down to this point right there. And yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. I think that's going to come out really, really cool. But in today's episode, we're going back to the community build. That is right. Hashtag never forget the big dig, because we're heading back down to work on the tree, to work on the terraforming of an underground kind of biome design that I've kind of devised over the last few hours of trying to come up with how we are going to tackle the landscaping. So let's fly on over there and get a progress update. Welcome back to the community build, and let's have a state of the build. That's right, where we've come from and where we are going. And it looks like No Face Scar has made a valiant return to the build. It would not be an episode here at the Big Dig if it wasn't for No Face Scar making a return. But let's dive deep underground and look at the progress. So we're in the center of the tree, this endless void that we need to add something in here. There's just so much empty real estate. So let's kind of envision something. I'm going to throw you an idea, and this is an elevator system, and I hope to maybe get Mumbo maybe to help us with this. And what it is a teeter-totter system, right? So if there's an elevator available right here, and there's an elevator available at the top. So if somebody wants to come down, they get on the top and they go down, whereas the one at the bottom then just replaces it. So it's just teeter back and forth. So there's always one available at the top, always one available at the bottom. I think that would be really, really cool. And it would be awesome for people just to take that going down in case they don't want to take the spiral staircase. So throwing it to you guys, what do you think? So hashtag good idea, hashtag bad idea for the elevator. Definitely let me know. So let's push ourselves through the wall here and reveal the big tree. Oh, disgusting. Oh, the slimes. And all my slime killers are all broken at the moment. We definitely need to fix those up. And there it is. That is the big tree. We've been working on this on Twitch, kind of getting the details established. There is so much more work to do. We really need to broaden out the top of the tree and really expand those branches going outwards. We have the roots down at the bottom. I think those are definitely looking good. And let's kind of look at the walls before we get into today's episode. So the walls are a challenge, a huge challenge. As you can see, there's giant like holes, in the sides there. Everything is like very tiered. So there's like, lots of different, levels here. And that's a bit of a challenge to try to like clean this all up if we want to maintain a very symmetrical design. So in the HermitCraft meeting where we talked about this, we want to go with a plot system where each facade, so each person will have like a facade and a plot that they can then build in. So there's not going to be, say, like a shop building within the area, but more of a facade. And then within the facade, you can do as you please. But the facade will maintain some sort of kind of cohesive theme throughout the entire build. So there's not like a giant like pink and a giant orange, like, there's not like a lot of contrast. So there'll be a cohesive theme, and then within that you can do whatever you want. I think that's a really cool idea, but how do we do this in terms of laying out? I mean, we can think of these ideas, but how do we do this in the practical sense of building it? So what we're going to do, and this is at least my idea that I've come up with over the last hour trying to figure out like what we're going to do with this. So we're going to take this area right here, which is the entrance, and we're going to have these very organic kind of walkways, and they're going to kind of spiral upwards, and all these little areas are just going to be this spiral kind of walkway as it kind of flows throughout the area, very organic in shape. And I think that's going to be way better than just a very rigid circle and then all the shops around. I think it'll give it so much more life, so much more character, and it's going to be kind of amazing. Now, as for today, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding that organic nature to the build. Oh, these slimes are they're hurting my soul. They're hurting my soul, I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, we're going to start adding the rivers to the area. So we're going to start adding that kind of lush grotto feel that we talked about so long ago. So we're going to be adding rivers and waterfalls, and we're going to create little banks around some of the kind of the root structure here. So we're going to bring in some pod soil, if we could find some, that is, and we're going to bring in some coarse dirt and different things along those lines. And having the dirt in here is just going to be an extra element of detail that's really going to enhance the kind of petrified impressionist tree. And I think that's going to be really cool. Just having this really lush underground grotto feel to the area. It's going to be very, very unique and beautiful, I hope. So if you guys are excited as I am for that, smash that like button and or scarify it. And let's get this episode underway, because we need to go find some pod soil. We need to see if we can get some dirt, and let's go and figure that out. All right, we're back at Scarlandia, getting everything set up for our riverbeds. Now, I've been sorting everything into these shulker boxes. So we have a ton of dirt. We have some gravel, of course, for our coarse dirt. There we go. And then, of course, we've got some leaves in here. What we don't have is any spruce leaves, and that's one of the leaves that I would love to use for our very underground style tree, which is kind of spindly because it's the lack of light and different things along those lines. So we got some clay for an interesting riverbank design. Oh boy, we're getting invaded now, guys. We're getting invaded. Come on, dog. Get him, dog. Get him. There you go, buddy. There you go. Wow, you're... Don't let the cats know, but that dog's way more useful than the cats. Anyway, I'd love to get some more mushrooms and different details like that, potentially even a little soul sand. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to get as many materials as possible to create these very lush, very beautiful riverbanks. But the one thing we don't... Hey, can I get 5 seconds here to talk with the scars? Come on now. What we don't have is pod soil, but I have a beat on a location of pod soil. It is negative 8,700 by 3,000. That is going to be quite a fly. So let's get our flight suit ready to roll, get some of them rockets, because that is going to be quite an adventure. Well, especially when I can't fly and I end up in a sheep pen. Welcome to the tundra. We've got fun and games. No, we don't have any fun and games. Went to the wrong coordinates. I am negative 2,700. I need to be positive 2,700. Oh, that is not good. By the way, PSA announcement, don't read emails while you're flying. Very dangerous. Also, hold your F3 menu out just in case, because you never know when you're gonna die, because I did. Land ho, my friends. We have finally found the mega taiga. I think we are at the correct coordinates. So let's fly down here and get ourselves some of this beautiful pod soil. And I sure hope there's more than that. Okay, there's more over there. I thought there was like a little island patch. Oh, this is excellent. Look at all the mushrooms and the ferns. Oh, this is very good. All right, so, whoa. Well, GG to myself. Nobody's on the server to congratulate on my great achievement here. Look at that. We've got ourselves an achievement. Adventuring time. Well, I do enjoy some adventuring time. Hashtag adventuring time for Scar in the comments. So what is that? Have we been to all the adventures here on the server? Well, that sounds kind of sad. We got to create some new adventures apparently then. Why am I putting W's in the chat? I'm very confused. There's a long flight, guys. Believe me. My wings are super sweaty. Anyway, all right, so let's start getting all this up here and then head back to that community build because I am itching. Why are you not? Oh no, don't tell me I don't have silk touch. Okay, guys, I gotta go get myself a silk touch. Oh, that was quite a grind. Look at how much resources we have generated out here. We've got leaves, we got ferns, we've got podzol, we got dirt and coarse dirt, and even just a little mossy cobble. So now it's time to pack all this up and head on home. Made it back safe and sound, and I've been moving out all the chests that were in this area to a place that is a little more accessible and outside of the area we're going to work on. So if we go through our little mystery door here, we can find all of our shulker boxes laid out and ready to go. And I've been arranging a bit of a block chart, just kind of getting some things that we may use for this build and just finding all the different blocks that I can use for terraforming, right? So if we look over here, we have some woods, we have some tilled grass, we have some ferns. We don't have the red mushroom, but we can definitely get that. Coarse dirts and hardened clays and different things along those lines that we'll potentially use for the area. So let's get going. I really want the build today. We've been flying all around and we've been doing all sorts of other stuff that we had to get done for this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to work in that area right there yet because I'm trying to determine how this walkway will emerge from the tree and go upwards. I'm still kind of working that design out, but I want to start on this side over here because this is personally my favorite spot because I love how this archway of our root kind of flows this way and leaves a little gap right here. I think that looks really nice. We kind of open that up just a little more. There we go. Okay. So we've got to figure this out. So if we can start kind of digging this down, it looks like we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of cobble under us. Oh, the ghost blocks are back. Looks like we got a little ghost block there. Anyway, so let's carve out a little section and start thinking about how we are going to arrange our riverbeds. So I think in this area, this is going to be, you know, water to the edge. So just water right up on the edge there. So look at my inventory, just full of some awesome things. So if we maybe just throw in a little dirt here, we can kind of use this as our starting point for this. There we go. So we can start kind of putting that down a little bit. Now I'm trying to consider how far. Now there must be a ghost block right there already. There it is, there it is, there it is. We got it, don't worry about it. There we go, clean that all out of there. Okay, so if we put this right there, and then say we go down an additional block, I think we have about 4 blocks to play with before we start hitting bedrock. And I'd love to stay 1 block above bedrock, just so you don't see bedrock underwater, because I think that would look a little bit weird. So we'll do that, all right? So we'll cover this all out of here, okay? And let's think about this. We have so many options for designs. Say we can, you know, replace some of these blocks with a little bit of this, kind of bring in this a little bit, but I'd love to try some of these little details, of course. Where is it? Ah, here it is, brown terracotta. Wait, what? So did they name hardened clays now just called terracotta? It's not called, you know, hardened clay anymore? Because I did not know that. I did not know that. I guess that's a thing that I was not made aware of. Okay, so I'm gonna put these things along there, just trying to give it a little bit of kind of like a different kind of muddy feel. We can also use soul sand, of course. But I think using something like this could actually look really cool. And then we can kind of carve into this a little bit. And then that's when we can start arranging. My inventory is so full. So we can start arranging some of these things and say up in this corner, maybe that's when we can maybe throw in just a little bit of powdered concrete. There we go. I'm trying to be very sparing on the powder. Hey, oh, geez, I'm just what I'm saying. Hey, let's be sparing on the concrete. And I'm wasting blocks. There we go. So something like that, I think, can start to look really, really good. Look at all that variation in it. Now up here right there, let's take out just a little bit of andesite. There we go. I need to get a better inventory management. It's a bit of a nightmare. So I'm going to take out this block right there, and I'm going to replace it like so. And if I had, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this block out, replace that, and then add that. There we go, awesome. And then I'm gonna take out this guy, and I'm gonna replace it with a nice smooth block. Oh, I'm starting to like that. I think that general design will start to look good. And then once we start incorporating a little bit more of our grass and details like that. So we take out this guy now, and maybe, just maybe, we can sneak it in here, maybe cut out these 2 blocks back here, maybe even throw in a torch down there so there's actually a little bit of hidden lighting. There we go. That's an added plus, right? And maybe just a little bit of this kind of an around. I think that could actually look really cool. And I'm looking at some like, underground fantasy kingdoms, and I just love the looks of these, with especially some like these little grotto designs with a little bit of leaves growing out of the corners. I think that's gonna look so cool once we're done with this, and really have maybe even some little holes in the ceiling with vines hanging down and light coming in, giving the light for the trees and stuff. It's gonna look really nice. Oh, this is looking great. Oh, I'm very pleased with this. So give me a couple more minutes. Let me kind of bring this around and see where it'll take us, and I'll meet you back in just a minute. Have I ever told you how much I hate the color lime? I've been completely surrounded in the last like 20 minutes with slimes. They are everywhere, and I need to get these things back online. So, the original slime. Let's keep them at bay, my friends, so we can continue to work on our project, which is looking pretty good. So we've got the island established and ready to go. So I think that's looking really good. And soon we'll be able to get, of course, our waterway through here. Now, what I'd like to do is add some form of a waterfall. And I've considered building a little waterfall off of this little pillar here and let it flow on down and then free fall straight down. Now, in theory, that can look really cool, especially in the real world. But with Minecraft colors of water and not being super transparent, it would be really cool if water was super transparent and it was flowing down there. Oh, it would look beautiful. And then this is another area I considered, maybe coming out of right here, a little flow going that way, and another one on this side. So it's kind of a dual stream. And then potentially we could even do something back here by making a little waterfall go here and then right under the pathway and down. I think that would be so cool. And the mobs are they're getting to me, guys. They're getting to me. Anyway, let's head down here and just see if this will look cool, because you never know unless you try it. So let's shoot up there and see what it is. All right, so we're gonna jump up here. Ow, that hurt. That hurt. Okay, so up here is our goal. We might have to rearrange some of the blocks here, and that's gonna be okay. That's gonna be okay. It'll just take a little rearrangements, but I think it'll be cool. Let's just throw something down and just see where it flows. So we had something right there, and it came around the corner. Oh my, that does sound very nice. Let's jump down here and see what that looks like. We'll float on down. Okay, that doesn't look bad. It's a little thicker, right? Because we talked about only having it be like a 1 block pillar going downwards, but that does look really beautiful. Just having that extra little bit of water and that little bit of energy in that area. And say maybe you're on a boat, right? And you kind of go through the waterfall and around the actual route right there. That would be really cool. Maybe we could have boat races down here. That looks really nice. I love that very much. Okay, so we're gonna keep that. That's good. Wait, what am I doing? Why am I jumping over this guy? What am I, turning into a slime? Just bouncing around, I suppose. I have no idea, but I like that. I think that's nice. Anyway, let's start working in this area a little bit. So we're gonna kind of carve back here. And what we established today, I think, is going to be what we use for the future area. So if we can get this as a really good template that then we can use as like, this is how we follow it, this pattern, these materials, in this arrangement. And I think that'll be really simple for getting this all done now that this area is kind of an established template. Like, you take this and you spread it around, and I think that'll be really nice. So let's continue this here. So if we take out a little bit of course and we start running it up like that, I think that's gonna look really cool. And the fun part about this is just kind of figuring out where all the little things go, right? So this is like a little rock slide off of the sides and different details like that. It's actually super fun to kind of envision how all this flows. And I usually get a lot of questions like, how best to start terraforming? And like I've always said, when it comes to anything in Minecraft, anything creative, it's all about trial and error and practice. As much as it seems like a natural thing, nothing in life seems natural really, because it's all just trial, error, and practice. And that's kind of what you have to do. It's just you'll never really learn or do anything unless you jump in it with all your might and you practice, and just do it repetitively. And eventually you'll just find this knack for it and you'll start seeing what works, what doesn't. And as long as you can stick through all the troubled times in life, then you can get to it, right? Because if you start, getting something that's, holding you back, like that doesn't look good. But if you can overcome that, that's when the greatest things in life occur, right? When you've overcome a great obstacle and you're like, look at that, now I've accomplished this because I overcame that, and also makes, whatever you're overcoming, what you're trying to create, even better, right? Because you overcame like an obstacle, and you're like, yes, there we go. That's looking pretty sweet. All right, so let's add a little andesite up there. Oh my, that looks nice. And then we'll take out just a little bit more of you. I don't know, I've been having so much fun doing this, just figuring out where all the blocks go and adding all of the little details here and there. And then we're gonna add a little bit of a stair here. There we go. It took me a long time to be able to use cobblestone for this landscaping because I'm coming from the old days of Minecraft. And back in the old days, especially on servers, you just see like scoured around the land cobblestone, right? The little pieces here and there, a thrown in oak log here and there. And it was just people like giving up on builds, and I always hated that so much. So I never used the cobble for a very long time for rocks till I finally got over that. I was like, you know what? I think we were over that in Minecraft. There's all the abandoned little huts around there with just like a little bit of cobble here and there. I think we've gotten over that. We can finally use it for builds and stuff like that. So I think that's why I started using it. So it's not like, did somebody forget to finish a build over here? Because, back in the day, cobblestone and oak wood, those were truly some of the only resources that we had. Even before birch and spruce came about, it was oak, and that was our only option with wood, So that was very limiting. So that's why I always get shivers when I see cobblestone. But I've since got over that, by the way. I've since got over that. All right, that's looking cool. And in this little spot right here, it's a little difficult, so I'm not going to do that right now because can't really walk over there with all that water. But I'm going to remove this block here. And in these little areas, I just love throwing in a little light so we can start adding some natural light in here that's not from like a torch. Just kind of looks like it's naturally flowing about. So I think that's really cool. And there we go. All right. I think that is definitely cool. We've got the waterfall installed. I kind of feel like it is time to hit... What's going on here? Apparently I'm in a ghost block. I feel like it is time now to hit super fast build mode and complete this little section over here and see what else we can do under that time lapse. And people wonder why I hate lime green and slimy things. Look at this. Cub, help me. Help me, Cub. Help me with your strange head on. Help me. Shoot some of your rockets, Cub. Shoot your rockets. Cub, I need you. Cub, you're the hero that I've always needed. It's trolling me. I think he called them in. But anyway, guys, welcome back. And look at our beautiful, lush environment. I'm getting a Jurassic Park feel, don't you? I just get this like, this is just insane now. Come, oh no, Mr. Enderman, no Enderman, no, we are friends. Oh, it was a sneaky zombie, and he's got my hat on. This is the treachery of the Big Dig, guys. You don't understand what goes on here. It's just constant death and slimy green things. Oh, okay, let's see if we can respawn. Come back down here, get my stuff, and this baby attacks me out of nowhere. Anyway, let's all just take a deep breath and relax and watch the waterfall cascade off of the mountain. There we go. I'm so relaxed now. Welcome back, my friends, once again for the second time. And look at this beautiful landscape we have created. This is looking so awesome with all these beautiful details. It takes a very long time to assemble them all and get all the layers together. And there's still a lot more refinement work still needed to be made. But it's just about time to lay down the water throughout the area, which is going to look really cool and just really complement the build that is the big tree. And of course, there's still lots of little details up here we still need to do, and I would love to be able to add some more grass blocks up here. It is the one block that I did not add, as I work with maybe like 13 or 14 different blocks that I'm moving around in my inventory trying to get this all layered up, and that's the one thing I didn't have. Now, if you see that up there, that rapscallion of a cub fan, the one who was orchestrating all of that horror earlier, has been working super hard on these walls. Look at how much work he has done up here by carving some of these things out. Wells Knight came out and helped a ton too, so it's starting to look pretty cool up there, and that's something we're going to work on in our next episode. And of course, this is where we left off on our time lapse. We got this entire area all terraformed out, and we've gone down, I think, 3 blocks, and then we're going to go down 1 additional block to create the waterway. And I'm thinking about other tree designs, trying to come up with some other ideas. We're going to definitely work on that on Twitch, of course. But yeah, these are the ones so far. They're kind of like small, kind of spindly a little bit, and I think that fits a little bit with the underground fantasy grotto feel. And yeah, I think it's starting to look pretty cool. We definitely need some more waterfalls and things along those lines. But for now, let's add the river in super fast build mode. So hit it one more time. End of super fast build mode, and I hope you've enjoyed our time lapse as we created the landscaping for the tree. So let's pull ourselves back here and look out over this entire area. We're perched precariously with our very beautiful new Vex head, which gives me strange powers when I wear it. Very peculiar, but let's head on down here. This is what we've worked so hard on today, creating this beautiful fantasy grotto feeling here in this underground kingdom. I think it is coming out really cool. We've got the waterfalls flowing, we have the trees, we have the banks. Lots of little details still need to be worked on down here. We need some blocks actually at water level, so that's something I need to still work on. I would love to add some more grass blocks to it so it gives off just a little bit more of a green feeling. As of right now, it's very brown, very kind of desolate, so I'd like to add a little bit more in terms of green life. Now, moving up a little bit further here, you can tell that this is a little bit of an interesting transition. It could use a little bit more of a spacing out, so adding a little bit more leaves, maybe a little bit more dirt throughout the tree, I think will help that look a little bit better as the transition goes up. And of course, these little pockets are something I'm excited about, because these are where we're going to take the story elements of the city to the next level. So in this little quarter right here, these are going to be like little buildings, little houses, things that make up a city right in these little spots over here. Now down at the end, the Good Cub fan has worked out a really cool idea of maybe making a big waterfall that kind of flows down here and feeds the river below. And of course, he's laid it out in diorite. And speaking of Cub, he's been of course working on this section over here by cleaning out these edges with wells. And we've been going back and forth trying to figure out how we are going to lay out the city. How are the shops going to be arranged within the space? Now, what we've kind of come up with at this point is that we are going to create kind of a little guideline going all the way across. I want this to be very organic, very meandering, if you will, as it kind of goes throughout the actual structure. So I think that's going to look really cool. Instead of very rigid straight lines, I want this to be very fluid and organic, similar to how the tree has been laid out as of now. And I think that's going to look really cool. So say like if you build a shop like maybe like in this little area, like right here, another shop might be a little bit higher and another one a little bit lower. So it's just got a really cool feeling as you kind of walk through, and you can kind of meander about throughout the pathways. I think it's going to look really nice. But guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were inspired by kind of taking this kind of very beautiful, organic, fantasy style landscape to the next level. And look at that from this angle right there. And then let's shoot on over here and see what this looks like. Like, that is amazing, right? Like, that is really, really cool. So until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserves a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.